RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 talk show. We're back at it again for a Friday, Free Flow Friday. Curious to hear what's on your mind, and let's assess this past week and let's throw out some predictions for next week and talk ourselves through this crazy world we're living in. So looking forward to getting a chance to connect with you guys this early evening and go from there. So I want to make this fun and enjoyable for everybody. So if you don't mind, click that thumbs up button ahead of time because I know you're going to enjoy yourself. And then more importantly, the goal is to try to reach more people. And so I had a chance to really assess where we're at and just the whole goal of rethinking the dollar. And I'm curious to share something. I'm interested in sharing some things, some thoughts with you guys, and seeing how to improve this current format and how to reach more people. Because I think we're probably pressed for time, and I think that there's ways of reaching more people to help them understand the importance of getting their weight up, as well as understanding what's currently underway with this thing right here, and then what they're trying to throw at us in the form of their solution to their own problem. So, yeah, we're going to dive into that. But before I dive any further, let me acknowledge a couple of people for taking time to be with us this early afternoon. So if you don't mind, in the chat, let me know where you're watching from, and I'll acknowledge your presence. And when the phone lines are open, 313-462-0027. Okay, so we got Kimberly Barker in the building. How you doing? We got Jonah. We got Simon says, Lord bless you, Mike. His face shine upon you, be gracious to you, and give you his peace. Shalom. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Low blood pressure, so low. We got Master Don in the building. What else we got here? Truth or Nothing. Let me see. Barlight Broker, JoJo. Okay. We got Timbo, Monkey King from Vegas. We got Alfonso from Mexico. How you doing? So, Alfonso, quick question for you, man. Let me know what part of Mexico you're in. I was actually talking to my wife earlier about, Mexico and, looking to take a trip down there, but want to go around the whole, that whole, up your nose stuff. So I'm trying to figure out some things. So let me know where you at, man. I'll got some questions I want to throw out there for you. All right, Eddie Cruz from NYC in the building. Juarez. Okay. So Juarez, that's closer. That's the northern part of Mexico, if that is the case. Okay. Curious. So we talk about. Okay. So Puerto Vallarta. Okay. That's on the western side of things. Southwestern. Okay. So that's on a different side. Okay, but we'll work it out. Thanks for sharing that. All right, so let's dive right in, man. So what I want to do is Free Flow Friday. What I want to make sure is I provide you guys opportunity to touch on subject matter that you want to touch on. And so as of now, I don't really have any articles. It's Friday, so I'm just want to open this up a little bit and see what you guys think. So I'm open up the phone lines a lot sooner and just, hear from you guys, and we'll let it flow and see where it takes us. And so as always, I want to make sure I give you guys a chance to share your voice in a timely manner. So give me a call. Let's talk. And let's make this work. So the phone lines are open as of right now. I'm about to go on a small little rant, and then I'll take some calls. But let me get started with just some cleaning some housework type stuff for those that might be new to the channel, even though YouTube algorithms have really, put a little damper in my step. But it's okay. I'm going to make it work. But let me do some stuff real quick, and then I'll get into a small little rant because I think it's important. Anyway. So for those that are tuning in, rethinkingthedollar.com is the home base for the channel. Make sure you guys stay connected there in case we ever disconnected here. And I got all types of stuff there I'm going to dive into further. And of course, I want to make sure you guys are available or aware of the Patreon, where we have our off-air talks and whatnot. Looking forward to cranking that up. And then social media-wise, connect with us on Discord. And so if you click the link beneath to the social media tab, go to the fourth one, RTD Discord community page, join there. Share articles, share videos, and just, connect with us there. We usually chat throughout the day. I try to make a point to be on there throughout the day as best I can. And all the other places where you can find us, that's where you can find us at. Okay. So let me get into a little bit of a small little tad bit of a rant real quick. Okay. So what I was today on my side trying to just clean house a little bit and do some housework, some cleaning up on the primary website. And it was brought to my attention that on the rethinkingthedollar.com page, if you scroll down to the very bottom, outside of the videos or whatnot, things I recommend, the 5 reasons why you should begin rethinking the dollar. And I go into why that is, and it need to be updated. But at the very bottom are 5, methods to unplug. And the very first one is the awakening period. And it starts with a quiz. And what I've realized is that the quiz has been down for a while, but a lot of people have taken it. And what has come to my attention several years ago, which I never really ran with and never really decided to try to really push it so that people can really begin to awaken to what's going on, is that the dollar literacy rate, according to everybody, well over 1,000+ people took the test. The overall average to the quiz was less than 40% on things that I would consider relatively simple, basic questions. And so it led me to believe that because the literacy rate of the monetary system is so low, it has made it easier throughout the last 113+ years to be able to get us to this point now to where they're able to print trillions upon trillions upon trillions of Federal Reserve notes without much resistance from the people, because they don't know any different. That's all we've known our entire lives, is that you work, you get paid, it's usually directly deposited. And of course, from that point on, they take out whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then you call yourself having a bank account. And in actuality, as a part of the monetary journey, you know, at the end of the day, the Federal Reserve notes and the digits in your account, they don't belong to you. They're property, they're liabilities of the Federal Reserve System. And we use them because it's legal tender. But I'm thinking like, okay, so I really want to focus on the awakening period as much as I can. And so a part of that awakening period is to literally and so this is where I need your guys' help, because this will not work. And we as a community will not be able to reach the masses. And that's what this is about. And the reason I say that is because it's really, you know, in my heart, in my spirit, because it's been nagging me for a long time now. And this goes behind the rethinking the dollar concept. This is what it all boils down to. It's helping as many people as possible wake up to the reality of our monetary system and the importance of silver from a historical standpoint, which plays into their lack of knowledge about the journey of what we call a dollar. And there's a clear distinction between a dollar and a Federal Reserve note. And the reason why it's so important now, because we're at the end of the Federal Reserve note system. It's been 113 years of them getting us to this point to where they took away our physical property when they demonetized silver in 1873, and they gave us crumbs in the form of our coinage with silver in it until 1963. When they took that away, that took away the people's money, and they gave us substitutes, IOUs, credit notes in the form of Federal Reserve notes to use. And now we're at the end of that. So they're taking that away from us. And so literally your last line of defense happened to be something that doesn't even belong to you. It's a Federal Reserve note. And if you look into all the, you know, legal structures, whatever, it belongs to the Federal Reserve System. The government borrows it from them and gives it to us so that they can then take taxes from us to then pay it back. And it's a cyclical circle of events there. And the reason why I think it's so important right now, that like never before, and you know, today is April 23rd, because by next year for sure, the digital currency, the CBDC, is the third iteration of the greatest heist in humanity. Because it started with them removing silver from our pocket and then giving us notes. And by next year, when they introduce the CBDCs and they roll that out, that starts the clock before they remove the Federal Reserve notes from us. All because people no longer use cash. You know, the cashless society, you know, people prefer the convenience of swiping a card. We've been set up for this, you know what I'm saying? And so this will be the third iteration of currency, coinage, paper, digits, and the digital CBDs. And that right there is the end game to where we were our full-fledged slaves in their system. Okay, I'm gonna stop ranting and I'm gonna take this call. All right. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike. This is Casey from Fort Worth.
Casey from Fort Worth. What's going on with you, man? Give me some good news.
Oh, apparently the World Economic Forum is preparing for a cyber attack, and it's they're doing a drill just like how they did with the Event 201 with the you-know-what virus.
Right.
And I would assume just like how after 2 or 3 months after they did Event 201 in November, I think it was, of 2020, the virus struck out.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps, you know, they say the months between late August and September, or no, late August through October, the 70% of summer crashes happen.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they're participating, for all the bail-ins and all the craziness.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
No doubt. You know, that's the fact that us in the alternative media space, that we have foreknowledge in these events, is because they've based upon prior experience, we've been able to use those events that have already occurred to kind of assume and guess what's coming. And so no doubt, it's in the making. Now I'm curious to find out, is there because they always, and this is one thing I learned from watching Lindsey Williams videos back in the day, is that are you familiar with Lindsey Williams?
He's the pastor, right?
Correct. So watching a bunch of his videos, he is always saying, whether he's right or wrong, I don't know, but he's been fairly okay on point. But he was saying the elites is considered their code to always give the average Joe a heads up, and they'll put it out there in subtle ways to where it's out there for those that want to go find it. They'll find it because the majority of people don't care. They're asleep at the wheel. But yet we have to give them a heads up what we're going to do to them. So the whole World Event 201, was a sign that very small people know about it, but yet what came from that thing was what actually happened. You know what I'm saying? So we can't say, oh no, we're conspiracy theorists. No, they told us, they showed us. You know what I'm saying? So this World Economic Forum, is there a particular link or anything that you're referring to that I can probably pull up? Or you just talk about in general, based upon what Klaus Schwab talking about?
I'm sorry?
Are you referring to just what Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum has been revealing since last year? Are you just talking about that in general?
Yeah, I'm talking about the how they did the Event 201, and from what I understand, they're preparing for a major cyber attack or a drill.
Yeah,
for a major cyber attack this July, and it's the World Economic Forum who's preparing for it.
Okay, so I appreciate you for bringing that to my forefront. I want to actually try to search right now and find some more details to that, because that plays into more of like us having a heads up. So thank you for bringing that up, and I want to definitely, if you don't mind, if you can find a link or find something detailed, bring it back to me. I love to highlight that to the community. So appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, be good. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's low blood pressure. Corpus Christi, how's it going?
I'm doing good, my man. How you doing?
Look, I figured out this Schwab guy. Where's the only place where you will own nothing and be happy? Think about your favorite book.
Own nothing and be happy. My favorite book. You're not referring to the Bible, are you?
Yeah. Where would you be happy and own nothing? Where?
Oh, okay. So you talk about in heaven, dead?
Exactly. That's what they're gonna kill us all and send us there. It's a free trip. We're gonna be all happy.
And that right there is, the depopulation, the Georgia Guidestones, all that stuff is definitely, they gave us a heads up, so that's true. But I'm sure a lot of people don't want to hear that right now. Low blood pressure.
Yeah. That's wonderful. It's free. It's a free ticket. Look, Mike, don't get down, man.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Like pretend you were like a billionaire and your kids are nice kids, and then they need money or they need something, right?
Yeah.
You'd give it to them, right?
Yeah.
God is the same way, Mike. He has unlimited wealth. You just be good and you ask him, but you have to ask, Mike.
Yeah.
He'll give you everything. That's how I've gotten everything, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, I dig. Hey, I preach, man. Preach, Pastor LBP in the building. Hey, way to edify me right now, my man. Appreciate that.
Hey, you check out that book that I sent you, that audio book?
Which one? In the Discord?
Yeah.
I saw it. I glanced at it. I don't think I went into it though, but it's there. So I forgot about it, but it's there. I'll check it out.
Hey, listen to it, man. It'll change your life, Mike.
Okay, I got you. I'm gonna do that.
All right.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
For the call. Bye.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, Pastor LBP in the building. Okay. Let's keep it going, man. Free flow Friday. Let me know what's going on. Bring the subject matter. We can touch on it. Keep it clean. Keep it, user, was it kid friendly? We can make it work. But for those that's tuning in, I wanted to go back to my rant a little bit. And so I went through a whole little spiel as to why right now, this current summer, this current year is probably the most important year for us as a community and as a people, because if you're watching this show, the small group that's here, you're aware, you're awake, and you more than likely have been getting your weight up. And why that's so important is because this current silver squeeze is underway now, and this May 1st, which is a Saturday, this heist that they're trying to pull on all the too big to fail banks and stuff like that, stuff's about to go down. And therefore, when it goes down, a lot of people will then be rushing out to try to get something physical and tangible they can own, because they're going to realize eventually that everything they've been working for and working towards are all somebody else's liability is not their true asset. And that's when it's going to be a lot of pain in the streets, man. So understanding the dollar. And so I go back to, for those that are just tuning in, if you go back and take the dollar quiz test, see where you're at. And then what I want to encourage you guys to do is take the link and just share it with a friend. Just let them test and see where they stand. And, you know, it's just 10 questions and it's historical. It's not like I'm making this up. It's just stuff that's just historical stuff that those that are awake and aware might be in tune with, but your average Joe has no clue, because the overall testing of over 1,000+ people is less than 40%, which means everybody on average that takes this test, this quiz, fails, because it's just not something that they were taught in school. And right now it's never been more important, in my opinion. So, you know, to help the channel out and to help, you know, basically get more people to wake up, you know what I'm saying? So step one in unplugging is awakening, realizing that, you know, there's a gap of lack of information there that people need to be in tune with. And if you take the quiz and you fail and you don't care, you know, cool. But I believe if people take the test, take the quiz, they fail, perhaps they move on to step two, which is then the awareness period, where you get a chance to learn about some things that you may not be familiar with. Anyway, but I can go on and on and on. But rethinkingthedollar.com/quiz will help you guys get plugged in. You know, send it to a friend, man. Send it to a friend and let him, you know, assess it. And if they ain't interested, then, you know, hey, you know what I'm saying, you attempted to help wake them up. But, you know, not everybody's going to be waking up. So we're already in the, you know, later stages of the game, and it's too late to reach the majority. But yet I just still feel led to try to wake up, at least reach one person. And that's one thing is, you know, the whole incentive is to tell people to get their weight up. But you can get your weight up with any coin. You ain't got to get, you know, the RTD coin. Get whatever coin you get a hold of, because that is your last line. That is your only offensive weapon in this current financial restructure, because it's something you can hold, something you own. You know what I'm saying? And it came from the earth, not computer code. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, so let's talk. So yeah, give me a call, man. Give me a call. Jay Northrop, give me a call, man. What's up with you? Give me a call. I'm open. Phone lines are open. Ain't nobody call. I ain't missed a call. It's Free Flow Friday. Let's talk. What you guys want to touch on? And for sure, if you tuning in, you enjoying the chat, you enjoying the rants, hit that thumbs up button. Show your love for the channel, and I would love to you know, hear your voice. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
From Canada. You know, my name's Adam. How's it going? I'm
doing good. What's your name one more time?
Adam.
Adam, how you doing, Adam from Canada? What's going on, man? Give me some good news from your neck of the woods.
Yeah, there's no good news. There's still lockdowns and everything. But, you know, we, like everybody else, we're having that battle of getting the Jabberwocky in your arm with the family members, right? I just told them, listen, it's like a used car, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not a used car, like a brand new car, a new model. I said, you never buy the first year of the model, because you don't know what problems it's going to have, and you don't know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. You said you listened to the woo-woo dude. You know who I'm talking about when I say the woo-woo dude.
Yeah.
And I did my research and everything. And, you know, there's no way I'm going to have this stuff injected into me, change my DNA as well, having their own programming, tell me, my DNA, what to do. Like, you got to be out of your mind. Like, I don't understand, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't know what the long-term effects are going to be. And in order to, you know, if you know, God forbid, if you get COVID, you have a better chance of surviving it if you're, you know, if you don't have complications, you're not an older person. Like, I don't understand why people are lining up to get this Jabberwocky for it. You got to be nuts, you know what I'm saying? Like, I you know, I don't know what you think, but like, I'm not getting it.
Right.
I told my family members, some of them got it, some of them said I was crazy. I said, listen, I'll take my chances. I'm not worried. I every day I load up with vitamin C, D, and I drink my chaga mushroom. I'm good.
Yeah, the chagas in my rotation too. So, hey man, so give me the rundown real quick on the lockdowns in Canada. Like, you know, assuming it's by province, or is there areas that are open or what?
I'm in Ontario. I don't know if you heard. We had a mayor Ford here, not mayor, sorry, a provincial gentleman from. Rob Ford locked us down, and then he later came and apologized because he made, you know, he locked it down to a point where the cops were stopping everybody at the borders. He stopped the kids from going to the parks. They blocked off the parks and everything. And then the cops finally refused, said, you know, we're not enforcing this because that's against our charter. We have a charter of rights here. And we don't like the, you guys have your amendments there, you know, your constitution there.
Yeah.
We have a Charter of Rights here, and in a Charter of Rights, where it says we have the right to freedom from province to province, to go anywhere, to do anything we want. And unless the Prime Minister calls a state of emergency, then they can put it on hold. You can't just say, okay, we're locking everything down, we're going to police control state. And then finally the police stood up and said, we're not doing it, so you figure it out. So then he had to back down. People have to realize, if you don't fight and stand up to the government and stand up for your, not like fight the government, like, but know your rights and stand up for your rights in your constitution or whatever country you have rights. If you don't stand up for that, they're just going to see what they can get away with further and further and further and further, right? And that's the game these guys are playing.
Yeah, they're going to push it to the limit, man, just to see how far they can go with it. And more than likely in time, if they stay consistent, in time, the people usually, they let down their guards slowly but surely to where they low-key roll over. It's like, you know, the frog in boiling hot water. Give it time, and then people will typically, because we don't know our rights. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of the de-education process where they dumbed us down. So people don't know that it's supposed to be we the people and government working on our behalf. They think that the government, we work for them. So yeah, so right now, you know, in the next couple of months, especially this year, I think it's going to be a defining moment to where either we the people stand up and do as much resisting as we can to push back, or we're going to roll over, and that's going to be all she wrote, man. But hey, let me get a couple more calls in, man. Go ahead. Last thought.
And also the woo-woo dude said that about 150 million Americans were vaccinated, and you guys have a population of 350. That's almost half of your population that can be potentially wiped out. If this, God forbid, if, you know, he's right, you know what I'm saying, then people are shafted, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
good point, man. Hey, thank you for calling in, my friend, and God bless you up there, my friend.
Bless you.
All right, be good. Okay, so I want to acknowledge those super chats. Let me see here. Mike B, I appreciate you for being a blessing. Let me click on that real quick. Let me acknowledge you real quick, Mike B. Appreciate you. And then I'm going to pull up that. Love offering with that information from the World Economic Forum. So let me not acknowledge this real quick. Mike B, thank you, my man. Appreciate you. And so give me a call. Phone lines are open. I want to hear from you guys. Let me make sure I acknowledge people to be a blessing to the channel. Cyber Polygon is a World Economic Forum cyber attack simulation. And so let's pull this up. And so I appreciate the heads up. And so as I mentioned, based upon prior events, we're always given a heads up as to what's going on. Now, this is interesting here. This is my first time coming across this, but let's just walk through it a little bit. And so here, Cyber Polygon says, the international capacity building initiative aimed at raising the global cyber resilience and the expansion of the intersectoral cooperation against cyber threats. That's a lot of words in there. Concept 2021 World Economic Forum supports Cyber Polygon. Is a buy.zone cyber ecosystem supported by the World Economic Forum Center for Cybersecurity. So here's another thing that just sparks, a thought. The World Economic Forum is in on everything, and so like just the fact that this is a unelected body of individuals that have been given the pedestal to be categorized as the World Economic Forum, and all governments to have been rolled over and bow down to that entity lets me know how dangerous this whole thing can be. And the fact that they go through the trouble of coming up with a website and some white papers and they got a whole board and they got case studies and all that type of stuff lets me know how this is a long process that's been in the works for quite some time. And it's very concerning because they're talking about cyber threats. And so therefore they're stating the problem and then they're going to give us a solution. Unfortunately, it will not be something that's favorable to us, the people. So here's the thing. Here's the rules. The training is open only to organizations. Please use your corporate email to apply scenarios defense. The teams will participate or practice defeating a large-scale attack in real time. The teams will investigate the incident by applying classic digital forensics and threat hunting techniques. Okay, so what exactly does that mean? But I'm sure, and they give you a download the PDF. So I'm not going to click on that because you know, with this comes, I'm sure, some tracking and some stuff like that. But, you know, here it is in front of us. Just the fact that World Economic Forum is involved in it lets us know that, you know, they've thought about the process, what they're going to try to throw out there. So anyway, man, but hey, I appreciate you for sending this, and definitely I'm gonna put this in the chat if anybody wants to further dive into it, and then we can talk about it a different time, I'm sure. But I'll put it out there, and you guys can chew on that if you guys want to. But yeah, this you know, stuff is real in the field, man. Okay, so let's get back into it. Give me some stuff to talk. Give me some topics, man. Bring it to the table and let your voice be heard. So if you select the topic, then make sure you give me a call to talk about that topic. So I don't want to just throw out something and I'm shy. I'm not going to call in. No, you throw it out there. Go ahead and, you know, let your voice be heard on it. All right. Might be said, sure. Thank you, because you are a blessing. We know we are all not crazy. Yes, might be, man. Tell me about it. So sometimes, especially lately, you know, so talk to my wife, because I'm deeply endowed in this stuff, to the point where, you know, over the last couple of years of having gone down that rabbit hole, and, you know, my senses and my focal points have been geared more so towards what might be considered negative and, you know, just the doom and gloom type of news. But it's my attempt to try to, you know, stay ahead of the curve on the information side, and then be able to formulate thought patterns on what could possibly be, and then share it with you guys. So, you know, on the outside, it looks like I focus on nothing but negative. And so my wife was like, you become so negative. And of course I have, just because, you know, I'm, you know, life is, you know, taking its toll on everybody in some capacity. So that's just me being real with you guys. But, you know, I can't say I'm addicted to this stuff, but it's like my curiosity is always fueled by attempting to know what the enemy is doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my little rant there. But anyway, give me a call, man. Let me see. It says, Jane says, my husband used to think I was crazy. Now he just doesn't want to talk about it. Yeah, Jay, you know, so that's the thing. Like, so, you know, it can definitely put a little bit of pressure on your marriage. That's for sure. Because if every time you guys go somewhere, you happen to know things is out of place, you're like, yeah, that's probably some deep state type stuff. You know, my wife looks at me like I'm crazy. You know, she's like, can you ever take a moment off? I'm like, you know, I just can't help, you know, when I see a 5G tower, it just pisses me off. I can't help it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking, like, what is that here for? Like, you know, it's not because they want me to have faster internet connection to log on to Facebook or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So she says, I'm mildly obsessed with it. Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. Hey, Patrick says, NGL, we ain't negative, just truth tellers at this current moment. And that's what it's boiled down to. But see, also consider how the mainstream media now is categorizing those that are truth seekers, or people that might be considered awake, to being, you know, patriots. And then they're taking us down our rabbit hole of we're extremists because we love our country. And what's the other word that they try to lump under Trump? You know, if you're a Trump supporter, then you were automatically a, what was it called? It was some word that they was floating out there, you know, right after January 6th. It was a word or two connected together, like domestic terrorists. That's that word, those two words. And so because you concern with your country, you're concerned with the future that will be left for your children, and you want to speak out against it, and you question the experts and you question science, you are labeled as an extremist and you're a threat to your own country. It's like, okay, you know, I see where this is going. So yeah, man, it's the day and times we're in, to where, you know, and what comes to mind is a biblical reference. I can't think of it right now, where it's about towards the end times, you know, those that are deceived will not know truth from a lie. And then where a lie will be considered truth, you know what I'm saying? Type of thing. I forgot the way it was worded. Somebody let me know if you got some biblical scholars out there. And so let me, you know, it says I was an insurrectionist until I got that's a good one. White supremacists. Okay, so that's been thrown around a lot as well. So, and that's okay. So that further divides the population, because on one side, last summer, due to all the racial events, you know, the Black Lives Matters and the Antifa, which were, you know, privately owned entities, controlled and paid for through donations and fundraisers, those are very popular. And, you know, once again, in the African-American community, the black folks, a lot of people's like, you know, they get into that, you know, fight the power, like, you know, fight the power. You know, they say it's the cops, you know, fight the power. It's like, no, it's the central bankers. It's the global agenda. You know, those people, politicians and all, they're just paid spokespersons for the World Economic Forums and stuff like that. But people don't know that. So I can't fault them. I'll just accept them where they're at. But then we got, you know, on that side, it's black versus white. And then so what makes it bad now, as you just mentioned, is that if you're a Caucasian and you love your country and you denounce racism, you denounce all that, they call you a white supremacist, where it's like, you know, it's your fault that, you know, you're the people that are the reason why that they are mad at you type of thing. But no, it's like, hold on. It's like they're in this, we all in the same boat. Like, and what bothers me most about all this, and I'm ranting because nobody's called in, so, you know, we're going to run with this. What bothers me most is that there's always been this, you know, let's divide them, you know, divide and conquer type of approach by mainstream media and politicians. But yet what really trips me out is that it's not a white and black issue. It's a green issue. You know, it's a green issue. It's the fact that, and this goes back to my rant earlier. So if you came in late, I gave a whole spiel as to why it's important to really, you know, and I think this is how you guys can help out. And it takes no effort whatsoever, other than to first, you go to the rethinkingthedollar.com page, you take, you know, the awakening step one, you take the quiz, because the average after thousands of people is less than 40%, which means majority of people come into this not really knowing the basics of what the dollar is and the history behind it. But once you are aware, then you share with other people so they can then begin asking tough questions. Okay. But yet a part of that is the fact that they've dumbed us down, divided us. And now here we are now towards the second inning of this transition, because the first inning was just basically simply telling us last year that now, because of this health situation, we need to use this as an opportunity to build it back better so to be more unified and there could be equality. We can finally alleviate poverty by making it inclusive so that everyone can share in this stakeholder corporate economy global system. And that's their solution to this problem. But then I was watching Christine Lagarde. And so she gave a press conference yesterday on the State of the Union for the EU, where they stand. And so she basically gave her whole spiel on how they're going to keep things at negative. They're going to continue the asset purchasing program to help sustain the recovery. And then two of the things she hinted at the very end of this was like, now is the time. This is not verbatim, but this is her sharing knowledge. She was saying that now this is the time where we not take advantage of, but we use this current experience and opportunity we're learning about to do two things. She says, utilize the digital economic transition or something like that. It was related to the whole CBDC digital world transition, and, you know, includes Bitcoin, and then the opportunity to build a greener future. I'm thinking like, whoa. So she gave all that spiel in her little 10-minute, 20-minute presentation. And then she summed it up by saying that this is what this is all for. Taking advantage of the digital transition period to help the world, and then creating a green economy. And so everything we're experiencing now, the whole COVID cover-up has to do with those two objectives that came straight from Christine Lagarde's mouth. And I'm thinking like, wow. Unfortunately, majority of the world has no clue about this. They're thinking literally on the surface, it's all about getting back to normal. Through what way? Through the eye of a needle. Not knowing that needle, what's in that needle is going to be an issue for years to come. And there's no getting rid of an influenza. And speaking of which, for those that may not be familiar, I want to encourage you guys, because I put it on the Instagram page, where you guys can go and see a very interesting, let me find this real quick, a very interesting 15-minute, 60 minutes, where, let me see here, let me get this. It's a 15-minute summary of 60 Minutes from 1976, and it has to do with, you know, once again, the agenda that they were pushing back then on trying to inoculate the masses, like the entire population. I think the U.S. population at that point was, 100 or something like that. But let me put this on the screen here. So here's a Rethinking a Dollar Instagram page. If you guys on Instagram, go over there and follow your boy, because I'm gonna try to do more stuff over there. But I posted this here. So here's part 1, and then here's part 2 of the series. And they basically, I forgot whoever the 60 Minutes guy was. He basically called out the CDC. And this guy right here, I think he's the head of the CDC. And he just, he's like, well, you knew that, the vaccine was going to hurt people, right? He's like, I'm like, damn. I'm like, what I'm saying? So just the fact that they want us to trust the experts, but the experts, they don't even get it right. And they don't even fully understand the agenda. They just go along with it because it's a part of their career. Like, they don't want to mess up their pensions, their 401ks, their retirements. So they're going to go along with it. And eventually they'll probably buy into it. But so far, the first part 1 got 26 views and the second part got 110 views. So you can't really understand the second one without really getting to the first one. So go check that out. So here's just, I post stuff over here just to, get some interaction with the community. So it's about, 4,000 or so people there. So if you guys are interested, what I'm saying, like, so here's something that really tripped me out. And I'm just out there now because ain't nobody calling me. But here's a screen capture that I grabbed from. Everybody can see who's on the picture. I'll let you guys, you guys should know if you're into, hip hop and culture, whatever. But anyway, what stood out was this particular image that I screenshot. It says, "Tune in to Roll Up Your Sleeves." And so there's going to be a free music concert, I think, coming up, or it already passed or something, but it's called "Tune In to Roll Up Your Sleeves" is the name of it's a free concert online, whatever. And so now that I think about this "Tune In to Roll Up Your Sleeves" inside of this video up here, I think it's right here. I'm gonna play it real quick. And so watch this. So this is who I think, whatever his name is, he's giving, but watch this. Look at this. So this is a commercial within the video here of them trying to sell the jab. So they got people in a line walking up, just getting the same needle in their arm. You got 2 or 3 white people and then 2 or 3 black people to finish it off. And watch this. Look at the name of this campaign in 1976. Roll Up Your Sleeve, America. Isn't this something? So 1976, it was Roll Up Your Sleeve as a part of the campaign cheer. And then, you go to right here today in 2021, tune in to Roll Up Your Sleeves. Isn't that a coincidence? That's such a coincidence, is it? Or not? You know what I'm saying? So this is some stuff that's just like, how can you not be interested in finding out more as to what they have already constructed? Like, so if you watch that video, you get a chance to see exactly what I'm talking about. It's very interesting because you see that experts lie too. You know what I'm saying? Science is not all about that. So anyway, man, roll up your sleeves, people. And yeah, do what you do. What we got here says, I miss Mike this entire time. I had to refresh the page, and there he is. Dang, must have been that timeout thing. Jim Diggs, man. So hopefully I'm still streaming. Throw a thumbs up. We got about 130 some people watching and 41 thumbs up. So what would be a blessing on this Friday would be to just hit that thumbs up button beneath the screen real quick, and hopefully the algorithms might be triggered to where YouTube might notify a couple more people. You know what I'm saying? Because like literally I'm watching how, centrally controlled platforms. Once again, I don't own this platform, so I've been able to use it. But I it's got a feeling that before the end of this year, they're going to take a player down. So that's why I always say, for those that, want to make sure you stay in tune with the rants or whatnot, I want to make sure you guys click the link beneath this screen here. Go to rethinkingthedollar.com, join the email list or something like that, or join the Discord or join BitTube. I'm on Library. Anywhere you can find me, anywhere on social media, I'm out there. So if you got those accounts, just connect with us so you'll stay in tune. Mike B says, watch several doctors today discuss the people are around people that got the jab are falling ill. Mike B. So once again, that's information that's in the alternative media sphere primarily. So here's something that's also concerning. As more of the mainstream media highlight some of the faults and the issues with this current agenda, it's going to lead to more distrust in the experts and in science. And then you got to ask yourself, what's the next what's the next plan? Because I would assume that the orchestrators of this, they know that at some point there's going to be a little resistance here and there. People are going to start waking up. So how can they up the game? And what's their plan B? And then that's when we get into more of the things that most people may not really want to touch on, because it gets real spooky at that point. But I can touch it because I don't mind sharing it with you guys. But you're going to have the actual government themselves getting involved and then looking to further push their current agenda, what they made it clear as day that they're going to start looking at reforming the Supreme Court. Why would you want to reform the Supreme Court unless you got a couple things you want to execute? And a lot of that has to do with the reconstruction of the Constitution. And it won't be next year. It might be 2023-ish. But for sure, the current administration, they're going to have to try to push that up before 2024. So the goal is to do as much damage as possible to make it pretty much impossible, if they were to lose the White House in 2024, that it'd be too late to undo the damage. So the goal is to make sure that as much damage is done to this country as possible. And the best way to do that is to add a 51st and a 52nd state in the form of Puerto Rico, so that it gives them more opportunity when it comes to the amount of seats in the House and in the Senate to be able to override anything that might be vetoed or shot down, because they'll have the votes to then be able to execute the reformation of the Supreme Court by adding 4 more seats, which will then officially make that possible 4.5 to 5 conservative to 4 liberals. They'll outdo that by, for sure, adding 4 more extremely liberal individuals. And let me, you know what I'm saying, since I'm ranting, nobody's complaining. Let me tell you what type of 4 people they're going to put on the Supreme Court outright. They're going to put a transgender, hands down. And it's not me being I'm not being any type of way. I'm just based upon a trans. You see where we heading. The fact they got a guy, Mr. Jenner, in California talking about becoming the next governor, and like the media is running with that. Oh, we haven't had a transgender governor, have we? What's the chance of him becoming one? Pretty likely, because they're destroying California right now. So mark my words, if it's not him, it'll be somebody else. Okay. So one of the seats on the Supreme Court will be transgender. The second will be, you know, a Muslim, you know, someone or an atheist, someone that's verbally out there with the fact that there is no God type of approach. The third one will probably be something that's going to be different. You know what I'm saying? So I need help with this, because I can I can probably come over to if I put some thought to it. But based upon those criteria that I just put out there, what do you guys think those last 2 seats might be? Just let me know in the chat. We got a transgender individual, and then we're going to have an outright far left atheist as the second one, the third one, the fourth one. Give it to me. Barley Burger says, okay. So I wasn't going to say it that way, but a LGBTQ individual for sure, outright, you know. And I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this, but you know, as in the real world, how I say a person that's extremely excessive with their, you know, that forgive me, but it's real. So LGBTQ is the third one, and then the fourth one. Give it to me. Okay, I see some interesting. I see some interesting perspectives. I gotta respect them for zealous for their faith. Bruce Lee, Leroy. Hey, and that's the thing. Like, you know, no, I'm not. You know, I'm not out there anti whatever. You know, I have my set of beliefs, but I'm open to hearing other people's stance, because I know free will gives us a choice to be able to choose and select which road we take to get to our end goal. And so when it comes to Muslims, atheists, Buddhists, Mohammedans, or whatever, it's all fine and good because we have choice. But then again, you have to also consider there's 5, 6, 7 different religions on this planet. All 6, 7 of them can't be right. The majority has to be wrong. Now, if you're willing to bet your eternity on it, you know what I'm saying, then that is called faith, and rock with it. You know what I'm saying? But then again, like I like to go deeper than that. I like to let's look at. Okay, I'm not gonna go on because I'm apologetics. I'm an apologetic in nature. As far as how I'm willing to let's really look at science. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go down our route, and I can, show you some things that you can't, it's not coincidental, it's not accidental. But I can go down a rant. I'm not going there. I promise you I won't. Lawrence Franklin, I appreciate that generous offering, my friend. Thank you for the blessing. Says, yo, Mike, remember the Great American Eclipse in 2017? It started in Oregon, and which is on the West Coast. Started, the sun rose east to west. At least that's what the scientists say. But same eclipse occurred in Nineveh as well as the Sodom and Gomorrah. Oh, okay, Lawrence, you taking it there. Okay, so in reference to those eclipses that you're referring to, the biblical one, Nineveh, I'm familiar with. Sodom and Gomorrah, I mean, of course, I know the story. First thing offhand doesn't, the details of it doesn't come to mind other than the result of how that came to an end. But 2017 eclipse, I don't remember it. But, feel free to elaborate more on that one. Let me know, give me some more on that one. I'm curious to see what you have in mind for that one. And so, yeah, elaborate more, please. I'm curious. Says, who watches Barry? What else we got here? Says, rethinking out, what are your thoughts on America, i.e. Joe Biden making the U.S. recognize Armenian genocide? Okay, S-400, I saw that. Didn't dive into it. I saw a headline, saw it, didn't dive into it. But yet, I'm not familiar with it to really speak on it in depth, so feel free to elaborate. But just the fact that they're bringing up an event such as that has nothing to do with the U.S. makes me wonder, because it's another diversion tactic that keeps us from looking at our current situation. Like right now in the U.S. of A, I think we need to focus on our own issues before we go out try to be defenders of the free world type of thing, because we got more issues that's getting out of hand that is beyond repairable. And so that's why we need to really buckle down and handle our own issues first. But the fact that they bring up something that is historical and has nothing to do with us lets me know that there's a agenda behind that. And more than likely, they're using that as an excuse to point the blame at some other nation, to say that because of the lack of free rights and the governments and tyranny, and they got a tyrant or somebody in the regime, they got to go in and change. You see where they're taking it. They're trying to create and instigate a conflict so that they can then come in with a solution and make it a world, let's heal the world event, and probably create another think tank governing body to do some investigative work to something that has nothing to do with us now. Atrocity, no doubt. It happens all the time, but usually it's the people who funds it that are to blame. And the people who fund it happen to be the very same people that call themselves investigating it, i.e. the U.S. government. Yeah. Okay. The paths of the 2017 and 2024 eclipses and where they will cross with the X over the new Madrid fault. Man, Mike B, you going out there, man. That's beyond my scope of information. So I appreciate you for bringing that to our attention, because I'm not well versed to know all that. So, keep it going, man. Elaborate on that. Phone lines aren't open. Nobody's calling me, so I'm gonna rant. You know how I do it. It says, rethinking out, it's because Turkey has business dealings with Russia. They are buying their weapons like the S-400. See, S-400, I knew you on top of that. You know what I'm saying? That's why your name is S-400. You've made that particular region and the dealings with Russia a focus. So I appreciate you for being a blessing to the channel by blessing us with your knowledge. Thank you. And so I remember, a couple years ago, I think we were talking about the S-400s, and let me know. I think that's the most recent version, or if I'm sure it's not, because Russia would not sell their top-notch equipment without them having an updated version. So they might be on the S-600 by now, and Russia is not selling that one. So the S-400 can do a good job to stop any type of UN and U.S. invasion, but it's not the highest grade. I'd be willing to bet. Because I think S-400, somebody put in the Discord about the laser weapon system that Russia is touting that they have, that can basically see and stop anything, like that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think the U.S. is sitting on it like that. So we'll see. Noah Ark is in Turkey. I've heard that before, and I think I've seen some stuff on that before. Yeah. Okay. I'm about to go down the left field. I'm not going there. Patrick says people last year got $13,400 of tax-free unemployment last year because of the administration. Yet there are citizens still complaining. No doubt. And that's the thing. You won't be able to satisfy people even if you give them handouts for free, because that 13,000 more than likely didn't make much of a difference in people's lives, because majority of people who probably got that didn't put it to use for them in a way that would better their future. They use it to either take care of some prior debt, or they use it to splurge on something comfortable now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised. And I'd imagine that they probably believe that there's going to be more coming, which there will be. So, because you can't, once again, you can't continue to have all types of relief bills where you're funding all types of stuff and not you're not giving out some checks. So Timbo says, Mike, you know that our military's got stuff that we don't know about. Who you kidding? No doubt. I do believe that. And so the question would be, why exactly will they not be out there as well, showing a little bit, to let Russia know, because I'm sure Russia knows as well. And so, I have my theories as to what we're probably sitting on. And I believe what we're sitting on happens to be some things that has to do with the South Pole and the fact that Antarctica has been a continent that we, the people, have never been able to go down and visit. But yet, based upon a lot of people out there in the social media sphere, there's been an increasing amount of activity at the bottom of the planet. And they've discovered some things, and they know some things. They saw some things that they definitely have been utilizing in the form of technologies, probably of some kind, which means that, the inhabitants of that region that settled that region were probably a part of the ancestral community in the form of fallen angels and the demonic sphere, and or the delusion that they're about to run out and they're about to bring out this summer in the extraterrestrial space. You take some of that information, some of that knowledge, of course, because you just look at the pyramids and all that stuff where it's too high tech for it to be pure man's knowledge, barring some Solomon, God type wisdom. But you take all that together, there's some stuff that they're sitting on that probably has the ability to reshape the earth. So yeah, I do believe that there's technology out there. But I think just from a pure man-made standpoint, IQ, man's wisdom type stuff, Russia is probably sitting on a lot of that stuff, laser technology, all that type of stuff, where the U.S. might have probably taken advantage of getting a little bit of help from some exterior forces outside of man. That's what I think they're sitting on. Jay Swartz, Antarctica is not a continent. True, but it is not an official continent because that's what they've told us, but it is a large mass of Earth that has more than just ice on the surface down there. And so I can't validate it, but I like to say that there's people out there who have some information out there that, credible or not, it makes you think. And of course, if the mind can think it, then more than likely it has something behind it. So that's why I mentioned it's a continent, because once again, it's land. There's people down there that have gone down there. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, from what I've heard, at least 6 or 7 nations have claimed rights to certain parts of that the landmass down there. And so the question is, how come they haven't turned it into a tourist attraction as of now, to where they've made it accessible for people to go down there and get a chance to experience what it's like to live in negative 100-degree temperature type weather, like as a tourist attraction? Because if you can provide ways for people to get down there, you can bundle us up good enough. I definitely would be interested in seeing that with my own eyes. And so I would definitely be willing to go. So Barley Burger says Antarctica is the ice shelf for the flat Earth. Okay, I don't get into that argument there. Flat, round, it's irrelevant for me, because I just look at the fact that based upon my eyes and perception of being able to look at the current, planets or current things in the sky, i.e. the Earth and the sun, not the Earth, but the moon, the sun, and whatever other planets float by every blue moon, they all happen to be circle in nature. So I would only assume that the Earth will be round as well, but I could be wrong. But that's just my own opinion there. Jay says, Mike, at Mike wasn't trying to correct you, but that's a different discussion. Antarctica is not on the UN map. Okay, Jay. So it's all love, man. It's all love, and that's why it's Free Flow Friday. Feel free to flow it, let it flow, and we can have fun with it. That's the thing. We're all here for our betterment, not to bring us down and point out, blame. No, it's none of that. At this point, we all in the same game. It's us versus them. Yeah, so the flat earth thing, I never went down that rabbit hole just because I got enough on my plate dealing with these issues surrounding me here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this has been my primary focal point because it impacts all of our lives in ways that we, in the most advanced country on the planet, as far as us having the reserve currency and being able to live off of the products that they've created in this credit, market system, that's all changing. And so I can go on a rant as to why that is, but rewind back to the first 5 minutes on the replay, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, let's keep it moving. But anyway, yeah, I'm having fun just ranting, free flowing, giving you guys something to chew on, and as well as you guys chiming in. So I appreciate it. So Jane says ice wall around a flat earth. Okay. Here's something here. I was wrong. It was Building 7. They did not study on the World Trade Center. Building 7 did not collapse due to fire. Report. Mike B. Yeah. So that's one of the things where, as I mentioned in prior rants, that, that event that occurred in 2001, it was an opening period for the global establishment to begin laying the foundations for where we're at now, 20 years later, because what they rolled out then has only gotten worse, i.e. TSA. To this day, they're still concerned with the war on terror. We ain't heard nothing about Al-Qaeda and all that stuff like that. So I wonder, has anybody checked in to see if Al-Qaeda and all those, was ISIS, if they've been okay, if they've been able to get enough, if they've rolled with their sleeves or their gowns or whatever over there to participate as well. Just more distraction, more stuff out there. So we went from war on terror to now it's war on cases. And that was a 17-year venture. Expect another 10 plus years of war on cases as well, people. I'm sure you guys see where all this is heading. So yeah, oh man, it's just so plain in front of us. It bothers me that nobody bothers to really go down a rabbit hole with me. This says, don't the Bible depict the world as a flat, never knew a globe to have four corners? Island Man, I don't, nothing comes to mind to rant on right now about that. Yeah, so I like how free flow turns into people getting a chance to share a little bit of everything. LOL, it was only a matter of time before the flag got discussed on this chat. It's a fascinating topic. Yeah, Natural Mama, and I think because somebody put it out there, I had to chime in on it. And I think it's entertaining. It's interesting because it forces us to go out to astrology and things like that. And that's a whole nother tree for. I'm sure there's other channels out there. And so watch this. One thing I've noticed, according to this centralized platform called YouTube, the algorithms, as they learn our behaviors, because think about this, every single time you pick up your phone or every single time you log onto the internet, an algorithm helps you discover more about what you might be interested in, and they learn from you. Like we're a part of the greatest experiment in human history in many ways. The monetary system, this health push, and the creation and the rollout and the development of the internet and the software protocols on top of it, including this one, that has all sucked us into where, based upon our patterns and our behavior, they are able to, use algorithms to help them learn about us and predict our future behaviors and our future likes and interests. Isn't that something? And it's all been done for free. You know what I'm saying? So they allow us to use these platforms to learn about us, to then use it against us. You know what I'm saying? And that's just interesting, isn't it? Anyway, Timbo says, how can the earth be God's footstool unless it was not a spherical globe spinning at thousands of miles per hour? Good point. And also, Timbo, my first thing about that thought is that, I think that reference in the Bible, or that reference that people use, is metaphorical in nature, referencing the supremacy of the supreme being, Adonai, so Jehovah. So, but I get your point, though. I get your point. David says, what's the point of going to Mars then? It's definitely not for more. Yeah. And so David, okay. So once again, because every image that's being portrayed in front of us right now, it comes from the same people who control the software, that control the algorithm, that also control the platform. And so they can put anything in front of us now, and technology is so advanced where they can take this computer screen, they can take the image you're looking at right now and turn it orange. And they can tell you, I'm streaming from Mars. But we all know I'm not. But through technology now, mankind has put themselves in a position where they can digitally create any image and say it's what they're doing. And then what really trips me out is how they have NASA. Like I watched, the flight of the first drone on Mars, supposedly, and in the control room, which looked like a conference room with a big TV in front of it and people with headsets on, you got people out there cheering and they're looking at the screen and they're looking at the Mars drone just start, and it leaves the surface, and you got a lady on there. She's like, I'm thinking like, huh? I'm like, okay. So either it's real and she was a part of assembling the drone and she put it in the spacecraft, she saw it go up, or she's a part of everything and she's an actor or whatever, who knows? But I question everything at this point. At this current moment, given the circumstances we're in, I question everything, believe nothing. And that's why I'm on this journey to continue to just, try to expose lies and resist the devil any way I can, because, illusion and deceit is a part of it is how this thing has gone so far. They're able to deceive us by creating this illusionary world in front of our eyes that we call reality. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so I can go down a whole rabbit hole with that, but I'm not. Mr. Diamond says, hey, they showed the aliens live on Mars? No, they haven't yet. But just the fact that they're positioning all of this UFO talk by Trump himself talking about, signing an executive order to release the files on what the U.S. knows so far, lets us know that that's ground one, that's step one, that's the foundation, and they're going to build on it and throw out all types of things. So now you look at CNBC Market Watch, and you'll see they got the U.S. Navy just confirmed that it is an official picture that a triangle shaped atmosphere to the vehicle was in the air. It was flying in unit. So it's like the Navy confirms it, the government confirms it. Now, what's next? You need to see it with your eyes, and unfortunately, that's coming because our eyes and the forces in between nature and the spiritual realm is about to be kicked in now. And that's why I believe, I got some thoughts, man. I want to share it with you, man. But you guys might think I'm really out there, so I'm not going there. It says, wouldn't a helicopter flying on Mars mean there is oxygen for lift? The thunder sound. Appreciate that love offering. Gravity. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit up and pretend like I know that. And I'm thinking like, that is a good point there, because I'm thinking like on the moon where there's no gravity, according to the video footage we've seen, you got people bouncing in the sky, And so I wonder, can you have a drone on the moon, just propellers cut on, and it flies as well? So what that would lead me to believe is, if the Mars imagery and the moon imagery is valid, and that is what is truly there, because we've actually gone there to those places, because there's still question about that, i.e. that's why you're hiring Elon Musk to build a spacecraft to take us, I think it's to the moon. They paying him $2.9 billion. And I'm like, what happened? I thought we went there 50 years ago. Did we not? I don't know. But so that is a good point. The propeller on a plane on the moon, it would, it will float. It will float automatically into space because of lack of gravity. So I'm assuming that picture of a propeller flying shows that there is gravity, which would then mean that if there's gravity, then whatever the atmosphere, would it be oxygen? But I don't see clouds. So so you see where this can go. And I'm not a scientist. I don't know anything about all that stuff. But it's stuff that would make us wonder, like, if they got a propeller, then as you mentioned. So thank you for mentioning that, because that's very interesting. And then Jay says helicopters can't fly in no atmosphere or low atmosphere. So Jay, so are you insinuating that the footage we saw of the drone takeoff is not real? Or if it is real and there's oxygen in there, therefore there's opportunity for it to support life? And so on another note, there's other YouTubers out there who are focused on, the stars, astrology, and looking up in the sky, whatever. And according to some footage shared that I watched, there looks like there was a body of water on Mars, according to some information that he shared. So I'm thinking like, is it water there? I don't know, but we're being set up to where they're gonna reveal this to us within our lifetime, i.e. in a shorter period of time. So back to my point about everything is being primed, we're being set up, we're being conditioned to be open to the possibilities so that it establishes a underlying level of information that can become a belief pattern or belief. It can be entered into our belief system that we are not alone. And so it'll make it easier as time moves forward to be able to introduce a supreme being or a higher intelligence that was already present amongst us. That is the Antichrist type figure that is here to save us from our own whatever, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So this is what this extraterrestrial UFO stuff sets us up for. It separates, it shows the weakness of mankind and how perhaps it is in our best interest because A, we can't control ourselves. We can't help ourselves because of, we are the reason why we starved ourselves, our economy collapsed, our internet. We need help. And why not turn our lives over to this being that is all knowing, supreme in nature, the deceiver. You know what I'm saying? So that's not too far fetched. So Mike is Devon Island in Canada. So you're saying the Mars footage is from the island in Canada and they just turned the screen orange. It could be Arizona. It could be in the desert in Arizona. You know what I'm saying? With just a filter on the camera lens. You know what I'm saying? But once again, majority of the population they're not paying attention and they're susceptible to believe anything because of the lack of interest in matters such as this. So you see how we can get to the point where this guy here will be the last person over the Federal Reserve note system, and we're going to enter into phase 3 of the monetary system. And for those that might not be familiar with what I'm talking about, rewind back to the first 10 minutes, you get the whole spiel. But anyway, hour plus people. Friday, Free Flow Friday was fun. I got a chance to let it flow. I appreciate the people who called in and enjoying the rants and whatnot. And I appreciate the individuals out there. There was a financial blessing to the channel. Thank you for your support. As I mentioned earlier, algorithms is definitely causing issues because they don't want this type of information to come about. And so it is what it is. But anyway, what I want to do, last favor for the weekend, and what I want to ask you guys to do. And this is not too far-fetched. And I think it's in alignment with what would be something that, you guys might be of support, might want to do. And to go back to what I first start off was that I'm working on trying to fine-tune the message. And it has to do with what's on the screen here, how to unplug from the monetary matrix. And it has to do with being able to just share information with people and giving them a choice. And unfortunately, you won't get the choice unless somebody brings it to you, similar to the gospel. People won't be saved unless they're presented with Jesus Christ. And so when it comes to this financial information, step 1, as you guys can see, is the awakening period. And it's simple. It's a quiz. It's a link here to a page on the site that gives people a chance to just answer 10 what might be simple questions to you, but to the majority. Overall, I've had this quiz on the page now for 3-4 years, and the overall average is under 40%, which means people are failing because they lack knowledge. And so if you don't mind, give people the link, tell them, hey, go take this quiz, just see where you at. It's this crazy guy in Detroit talking about the dollar. Go check it out and let me know what score you have. So come Monday, check back in with us and see what your friends, your family's score might have been. And then be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Why don't you, join us, check in with us. And, this guy talk about get your weight up. Why is he talking about that? Go check in with it. And I'm curious to find out. Of course, on the back end, I can see the scores. And that's how I say that, like people are not passing. And today I changed 1 or 2 of the questions and I put it on Twitter. And you know, one of the guys who I've interviewed before, and I'm going to have on next week or two, you know, Justine, who wrote a book. I interviewed about the book, and, you know, he's very knowledgeable about his history. He got a 97.5. I'm like, dude, that's the highest that somebody's ever gotten outside of me, because I wrote it. But so one person got a 97.5, and a couple people got 70s, whatever. But those are people who are awake. Majority of people are not. And so I think, you know, take it upon yourself to ask a friend, share it with a friend, and see what happens, and just go from there. But I think you'll enjoy it. It'll be entertaining. And then if they are curious, there's step 2, step 3, and then step 5 to join us here and stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm open to ideas on how to help people unplug. And so that's just what I feel that I want to focus on moving forward, because the time is dwindling. We're about to approach phase 3. Phase 3 is the last phase before financial sovereignty is completely gone, including your property rights, which means even your silver may not be yours. So I can touch on that at a later date, but that's where this is heading. So I'm done ranting, because I can go on forever. But forgive me. Enjoy your weekend. Be blessed. Be safe. Might tune in tomorrow. You know, we'll see. But I need to unplug myself. But be blessed. Be safe. See you guys later. Peace.